Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to work on login. So in order to allow admins to control the products and users and everything, we need to let them log in first. And to do this, we need here to convert first this login HTML into a PHP file. So I'm going to say login.php, and then if the admin is not logged in, then they should go to the login page first and log in first before they will be able to access this admin dashboard. So let me show you the login page. This is the login.php. So we always need to send the admin to this page unless they log in. If they are logged in, then we can give them access. So to do this, to work on the login, the first step is that we need to work on this form. So for this form, first I'm going to give it a method, and the method as usual is post and action. The action is going to be the same page. I'm going to say login.php, and I'm going to here give it the name of the input, the name of the email input is an email, and the password is password, and the button is login underscore button, and the ID is login underscore button. Now at the top, what we want to do is that we need to add here a PHP code that's gonna handle logging the user in case they log in, and prevent them from accessing the dashboard if they failed to log in. And to do this, we first need to say here include, and then we need to include the connection. I'm going to say here include, and then what I'm going to include is that I'm going to include here connection. I'm going to say connection.php, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say if is set post login button, login btn. Then we need to do something else here. So in the if statement, we need to get the email and the password. So I'm going to say here email is equal to post email, Similarly for the password is equal to post password. And then we need to use the statements. So I'm going to grab some code because we already have a lot of code that we can use, such as this. Let me get the code from, I think here, get. Let's get this code. Let me get this code. I'm going to get this code, and then I'm going to paste it here. And then I'm going to say here, let me push this. I'm going to say statement connect prepare, and then select what we want to select from the admin. Remember, let me show you the database. The admin has ID, name, email, and password. So what we want to select is that we want to select the ID, and then name, and then email and password. And then from admin, and from admin where email is equal to question mark, because we want to verify the admin, and password is equal to password. email is equal to this, and password is equal to question mark limit 1. And after this, what we need to do is that, let me just add this in a new line because this is taking a lot of space. So let me say here select with capital letters. I'm going to say select email, select ID, name, email, password from admin, where email is equal to question mark and password is equal to question mark limit 1. Limit. And then we need to bind the params. So I'm going to say here statement stmt and then bind param, and what we want to bind is that we want to bind the ss, the email and the password. I'm going to say here email and the password. However, the password must be hashed for protection purposes, and if you want to know more about security and hashing and passwords and all of these good stuff, you can take my course about security best practices for PHP. So here I'm going to say MD5, and I'm going to pass the password into the MD5 to hash the password. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to execute here. I'm going to say statement execute, and then I'm going to add it in if statement. I'm going to say if let me remove this line of code. If we have a user that satisfy this criteria, that satisfy the that has this email and this password, then we can log that admin in, because this is a real admin. This is a genuine user, a genuine admin. Else, then we need to prevent that user from logging in. So to do this, we need to say here statement, and then bind result, and what we want to bind is that we want to bind the ID, the ID, and the name and the email, name, email, and we need to store the result, because the result is the empty and then store, because the result will allow me to later check whether that user is still logged in or not, which is very, very important. And here we need to check whether, here we need to say if statement number of rows is equal to 1, which means that if there is a user with this criteria, then we can now fetch. Now we can fetch the result, and we can store admin info in session, so that we can use it later. And lastly, we need to send admin to dashboard. Else we need to prevent the admin from logging in. And else here as well, and else here we need also to prevent the admin, because in these cases there might be a problem with the SQL, or there might be a problem with the database. But either way, we need to prevent the admin from logging in unless they have proven that they are real admins. So here what we need to do is that we need to store the admin info in the session, and that can be done using here the session admin underscore ID. is equal to ID, and the session, we also need to store the email and the name. Admin email is equal to email, and lastly session admin name is equal to name. And you can create a new key in the session called admin logged in. Admin underscore logged underscore in is equal to true, because at this point the admin logged in successfully. And that's it. Here we need to say header and take the admin to the dashboard, location index.php, and we can pass the success message. We can say success underscore message, welcome back. We can say here welcome back. Else we need here, we need to say login. We need to keep the admin in the login page, and we need to say error message wrong email or password. Try again. Similarly with the else's here, we need to display we need to use this header. I'm going to say here header, and then I'm going to here say error, try again. Error, try again. Here as well, error, try again. And at the top, before the admin comes over to this page, we need to check whether they are logged in or not. Because if they are logged in and if they try to come to this page, we shouldn't allow the already logged in admin to come to this page. And to do this, we have to use the session. So here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say here session start, and then I'm going to add this piece of code which is going to check whether the admin is logged in or not. So I'm going to say if statement, and then I'm going to say if is set, session admin logged in. If this is true, if this is set, and you can even check, if is set and true, then you can say header and then location.php, and then actually not location.php, location colon and then index.php, and then we need to exit because we don't need to keep the admin in this page or execute any further code. And we need also in the login page, we need to display the messages. So below this, above the form we can say PHP and then include messages .php. Pretty simple. Now you might be wondering, how can the admin register? Well, admins should never be able to register. There shouldn't be an admin page that allows admins to register, because suppose that this page was leaked, or this page has been accessed by other users. It means that any user could create an account, and any user could access your admin dashboard. So how would you give permission to admins, or how could you create, I should say, admins? Well, you should create admins from the database itself, and I'm gonna show you how to do this. The first step to create an admin is to click on admin on the admin table, and then you need to click insert. So you need to create the admin manually. So here you need to give it a name. I'm going to say here any name you want, and then the email, I'm going to say admin@email.com. Let me say the name is admin as well. I'm going to say admin. And the password, this is very important. The password you need to select here from this menu. You need to select MD5 because we want to hash the password. For example, if the password is 12345, it must be hashed. You cannot store the password as 12345. And again, if you want to know more about security in PHP, you can take my course about security best practices for PHP. I highly recommend taking this course if you are really into security and PHP. And then once you are done, just click on go, and this is going to create a new admin with the given information. So this is as you can see, this is a new admin. This is the name, the email, the password. Again, the password now is hashed. Now let's test. Now it's time to test. Let me now refresh, and let me first go to the login.php, and it's not working. Why it's not working? Because in the login, I said here in the login, I said else header location, and this is gonna keep sending the user. So we need to remove, actually we need to remove this else. There is no need for this else. There is no need for this else, because this part will take care of any errors regarding the database, and in this else, this is gonna take care of if user tries to log in with a wrong password and or email. So let me now try one more time. So now let me here type the name and the email that I created earlier. So the name is the email is admin@email.com, and the password that I already created. So here I'm going to say admin@email.com. And let me here type a wrong password. I'm going to type here a wrong password, and then I'm going to click on login. And if I click on login, it's going to say wrong email, try again. So this is going to prevent the admin from the admin to log in if the email or password is wrong. Now let me type the correct email and password. So here, if I type the correct email and password, and if I click on login, as you can see, it's going to take you to the login page, and it's going to say here, welcome back. So it works successfully, and now the admin will be able to log in and will be able to access the dashboard. And if they are not logged in, they will not be allowed to access this admin dashboard.